Alright, I wanted to make a video because it seems like so many people get confused and they don't really understand, or they live in ignorance. They live in a world where they want things to be a certain way to explain why they are a certain way. Things that don't need an explanation to why they are a certain way, because nothing is wrong with being different. You see, I ran across this video, and I've run across many videos like this. The thing is, most of the time I just ignore it mostly because, well, I don't know, there's other topics to talk about. But the main thing is, you know, a lot of the time with people who imply that darker skin is more African or more black, it's from the same people that have this opinion that they felt in one way or another inferior because there was people within their race that were lighter. But it's so embarrassing, honestly, because it's like Asian people, they don't kick out the lighter skinned Asians. And Indians, they don't kick out the lighter skinned Indians. They don't do that just because they feel so insecure about the other people being within their race. And to me, it's just like weird. I came across this video, black man making this video. Not really any different what his gender was, but was trying to address saying that light skinned black people were not black. And that basically, because of the society that he grew up in and feeling like he was inferior, therefore they were not of the same race as him. When in reality, the truth is, that's all because of colonialism and things of that nature, which it specifically has to do with everyone within the race, not just particularly dark-skinned black people for that matter. Everybody who's not white feels inferior because they're not white in our history, I'm saying, not now. So implying that lighter skinned people make you feel uncomfortable with them being within your race says more about you have discomfort with your own skin tone, not with them, not with anything wrong with them being black. It's not a misplacement of them being black. What's wrong is your misplacement and misunderstanding of your own skin tone. That's the problem. To me, it's very ignorant when people try and say light skinned people are the same as mixed people. When in reality, I've shown two separate videos of lighter skinned black people who actually have taken DNA tests and were over 90% black. There are plenty of black people who are dark skinned who are nowhere near 90% black. Like, most dark skinned black people aren't anywhere near 90% black. You mean to tell me, oh, they're comments. You're not wrong. Somebody can be very dark skinned and not fully black. It's actually possible that light skinned black people can be fully black, but I don't know. Some people just like to simplify things in their own way, right or wrong. Uh, oh, sorry. I thought it was all from the same person. My bad. The first three were from the one and only Ariana, and the other one was from Travels of a Black Rose. Um, yeah, it is. I kind of find it weird too, because like if you look at Africans, most of the time you can see that many of the people in Central Africa are of a lighter hue. And when lighter skinned black people take DNA tests, generally they usually get DNA results that show they are Central African or um, Nigerian or Cameroonian, things of that nature. There's a higher influx of people who are lighter skinned in those areas than, say, a place like Senegal, even though, yes, they have light skinned people there too, but I'm saying the probability is higher in Central Africa. Um, so it's kind of weird to me why people don't exactly at least look at the actual facts of the situation and realize, genetically, light skinned black people are a part of the black race just as much as dark skinned black people are, and so are brown skinned people, of course. It's just concerning to me when people think that this is not the case, because it's like you're really not dealing with the center problem that you really are struggling with, basically. So you basically, you know, are uncomfortable with the fact that lighter skinned people are considered black because they are, and are within the race, because it makes you question, why are you black? Why are you dark skinned? And why are you a part of the same race as the other people? And it's like, you shouldn't really be like being different in complexion is anything to be seen as bad. It's not. It's not anything bad that someone turned out light skinned and is black, any more than it's anything bad that someone is dark skinned and they're black. You know what I mean? So I mean, like when people say that light skinned people aren't black, or they're the same product of like multi generationally mixing, when in reality, many of the time, light skinned black people are more black than dark skinned black people. And it's like, to me, if you really want to think that they're mixed, then I mean, like, when you come out as less black than the people I pointed out, then you shouldn't even talk about who's black or who's not, because you're not even black. You're claiming the people that are more black than you are mixed. So what are you? You know what I mean? To me, it's like people always try and signify that darker skin means being more black. But if darker skin meant being more black, then how come Indians aren't seen as black? How come dark skinned Asian people aren't seen as black? Many of them are much darker than some dark skinned black people. So, I mean, dark skin doesn't signify anything. It really doesn't. It just signifies that your hue is darker. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Dark skin is beautiful, you know what I mean? But it's not specific to a race. It doesn't have to do with race. There are plenty of dark skinned people who aren't even black. So, how are you going to go and tell people just because you're darker than them that you're more black when dark skin doesn't even imply that you're black at all? To me, you're dark skin. If we're really gonna say that, then I guess dark skin implies that, you're like, we have to include everyone who's dark skinned. We'd have to include Indians, Asians. Our race would be very big if we just included dark skin. And most people who we would include as black wouldn't even be identifying as black. So this identity of being darker would be built on wholehearted ignorance. I have an uncle myself who is 95% black, and he's light skinned. He's like yellow. And I've noticed, even in my mother's family, you have plenty of people with the same two very black American parents, over 90% black parents, who have children who are dark skinned, brown skinned, and light skinned. I never understood if we're really going to try and act like light skin is not a black trait, then how come it comes from people you're calling black? How come it's light skinned black people come from two dark skinned parents with brown and dark skinned siblings? This happens often in black American families where they have children who are dark skinned, light skinned, and brown skinned. There's not much of a thing where people just have dark skinned families and light skinned families. Sure, there are some families like that, but most of the time, you can see that there's a variation within a family with the same two parents. And many of those times, those two parents are dark skinned people. So, to me, I don't really understand why people try to ignore this or act like this doesn't happen, or try to pretend that light skinned people are mixed when they know full well they themselves could have children who are literally light skinned, especially since most of the time, you know, I see plenty of people who claim, it's mixed, but then they'll have like a sibling that's light skinned or a cousin that's light skinned. Does anything come through your head to understand how did they come out light skinned if you are still a black person? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, more comments. I'm sorry. Yeah, my cousins have a biracial mom, and one is dark skinned and the other is light skinned. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. There's a lot of range also with mixed people. That's why I find it weird. People always say that dark skin is specific to black people. And they take DNA tests and they're less than 75% black in the first place. Or, they're 80% black and they're feeling like they're extremely black. Yet you see people who take DNA tests who are light skinned and they are like 92% black. Like, make it make sense, sweetie. Seriously. It's like, to me, it's like if you are. I feel like a lot of time people who are mixed or, they turn out to be mixed and they're darker skinned, they try to claim being black because if they claim being mixed, then they wonder why they're not lighter. And then they have those questions from other people who are ignorant, making it worse, you know. And so then they create this imposter image of saying, yes, I'm black, this is the standard of blackness and things of that nature, when they're not even black people themselves. They're just dark skinned. So it's just annoying to me. It's like being darker just had nothing to do with, it really had nothing to do with blackness. It really doesn't. Because, like I said, plenty of races are dark skinned. It's not a black trait. Most people who are dark skinned aren't black. Because, there are more Indians in this world than black Americans, black people, Africans. Africans, black Americans, people in the diaspora, everything. You get what I'm saying. And, I see another comment. Some Indians, South Asians are very dark skinned. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm just saying. It's just weird that people come up with this kind of content saying like that, light-skinned people are not black, or they're mixed people, or they're the same as mixed people, when in reality they're just saying based off light versus dark, and dark is the standard of being black and light is the standard of being mixed. And it's like, you have nowhere, no place, and no right to be talking about this when you may very well be a mixed person yourself and most likely are. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Also, I wanted to say, I think the root of the problem is the problem with darker skin and trying to accept one's darker skin and trying to find a positive reason for being dark skinned. That's the sad part of it because it's like, why is it you think that there's nothing positive about it, that you have to make up something positive about it to make some other people not black so then you can feel like you're the real black person? Like, that's not right. Because one, you're going off of ignorance. Two, you're hiding the real problem, and your real problem is that you feel unhappy and inferior about your skin tone when other people are included in your race, because then you feel like that's something you need to attain to. You don't have to attain to something just because someone in your race looks a certain way. Just like I don't need to attain to looking dark skinned or light skinned just because within my race there's light and dark skin. So to me, I just think people should embrace who they are without trying to erase other people's identity. Like, people should find a new way to appreciate themselves other than trying to drag others. Because dragging others isn't really going to help you, it's just smoke screening how you truly feel about yourself. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to do a few more videos similar to this. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.